I think people have always underestimated the importance of local authorities. From day one, we decided that we work with local authorities. That's because of their enormously important presence in people's lives.
I understand about climate change and global warming and stuff. Everybody should try and help reduce it, you know, in the best ways that they can.
I try and recycle a bit more, and not use cars and use buses and things like that.
I don't use as many polythene bags.
The government at the moment needs to invest a lot of money in. You know, it's a very serious issue that all over the world, yeah.
I think maybe they could do more to make people do it instead of it just being a choice.
There's a sense of needing to lift the whole thing, to affirm that role of the local government officials and elected members in their communities.
If you look at the size of some of the challenges that we're facing on climate change, we're only going to hit those targets through innovation.
At Forum for the Future, we advise some of the world's top businesses and leading public sector organisations on how to be successful and sustainable. We have long-term partnerships where we challenge, we advise, we help them innovate the kinds of products and services we'll need to prosper in a low-carbon future.
We could have gone about doing this project ourselves, but we thought it would be much more interesting if we could work with one of the world's most recognised innovators, IDEO.
IDEO is a design consulting company, and we basically use design as a problem-solving tool to apply it to a wide variety of problems. And our goal is to create impact, positive impact.
For the first I-Team, we invited all UK councils to apply. We had a number of applications and we chose Kirklees, St Helens and Suffolk County Council. 3 really dynamic councils, all ready to engage in a new innovation process, and we were really lucky to be working with them as they gave loads of time and energy to the project. The I-Team is made up of 4 key stages, and it's based on IDEO's design and innovation process. So the inspiration phase for I-Team was all about getting the councils familiar with the design process and with the methods and tools that we would be using during I-Team. The second stage, Insight, was taking them out and about and doing research that was what we call empathic research, going into people's homes, workspace environments, observing them, interviewing them, spending time and trying to empathise with these people so that we work out what the real needs are rather than what people might say on surveys or questionnaires. So it's really on-the-ground research. The third stage is ideation. Now this is all about working out how to use the empathic research, so finding patterns, themes and key insights that you can then use to draw out and generate ideas from. They then move into prototyping the ideas. Prototyping is a really key stage of the whole design process, as it allows people to get their hands a little bit dirty and start to actually build and construct some physical prototypes, and the concept that they've come up with really starts to develop through designing and building these prototypes and through presenting them and asking everyone to comment and contribute to the concept. The next phase is then implementation, which is where the councils are now. So they all came out with one really strong idea at the end of the I-Team process, and they're now going about making that idea a reality.
I've watched all 3 councils get really inspired and really excited just by reconnecting with the purpose of their job. And I think that alone is a really valuable outcome of the process.
I found it quite inspirational working with IDEO and Forum for the Future.
The way in which it's dynamic and people can actually feed off each other is exceptionally good. It is a completely different way in which councils might actually undertake their work normally.
I remember one part of the day had been about an hour's work, and we generated 100 ideas in an hour. And it was just, I mean, it's just phenomenal what you can do if you just let those creative ideas come forward.
Something that we don't do normally. We may do surveys or speak to sort of a cross-section of people through a questionnaire, but actually going and really talking to people and delving and sort of trying to get into the heart of what makes them tick, motivates them, what the behaviours are, has been fascinating really.
The human-centred side of it helps to make sure that the data you've got does become useful information.
The actual process itself was very good at sort of breaking down people's cynicism about the climate change agenda and what we could do within the sort of resource constraints that we have.
I think actually the ideas that we've been coming up with really look like they might have traction, and it's a really interesting alternative to, you know, is the consumer going to blink first, or the corporates or government? Well, actually maybe it's local councils and working with empowering schools and community centres and public transport. It's very close to the ground and it seems very real, but it's bigger than just asking people to leg their loft.
When you're talking about tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of people, so you're going to have a big impact if you get it right, but actually there's not huge barriers. There's not a great incumbent government, or you don't have to change the tax system and all those kinds of things. So actually the kind of scale that we've been working on has been really interesting.
We really enjoyed doing the I-Team. We unleashed the creativity that sits in these organisations, proved that the public sector can lead in innovation, and came up with some practical ideas to make the world a better place.